with that, we are going to be setting things up and rolling. Eternal will be facing off
Ooh,
against Spicy, who is going in as Misango.
this is gonna be a fun match. Misango and Coil. Oh, I like what I'm seeing with the arms.
Yeah, compared to where people typically place him on the tier list, we pretty much have. You could not be more of a reflection of the tier list than these
Oh,
two in a lot of cases.
yeah. And Spicy goes for the red max. A good idea, especially since only Roaster is gonna knock him down.
But at the same
Yeah,
time, this is Dr. Coil, and being a lot slower against Coil just means generally you're going to just have a much more difficult time catching your opponent, dodging a lot of their attacks. Coil's just really fast and she covers a lot of ground. That
yeah,
slowing down just means that she has more room to pressure you in a lot of cases.
yeah. Spicy is definitely using a more defensive loadout right now. Oh, he gets the rush? No. Wow. Oh,
But
he got a few hits.
does get some damage in.
Yeah, well, Spicy is using a very defensive loadout, and it could work. The problem, as you said, is Coil's speed.
Wait, what was that?
That Spicy is using a very defensive loadout, but as you said, Coil's speed is gonna just dance
Yeah.
around this.
Yeah, Coil. Eternal's kind of having an easy time just dodging around these Lockjaws and Guardians. And especially
Yeah.
just having a third arm that's naturally a bit higher. Eternal kind of just can snipe over a lot of these attacks as well and is just holding a lot of advantage. And we're going to see
Yeah,
that first round go to Eternal for a lot of those reasons.
yeah. This is actually what I wanna talk in that video I'm writing right now about the boxing styles in ARM. Uh, we saw this first round. Spicy went basically full slugger with a very defensive tool, not moving a lot. And Coil just stayed as an outboxer. She could just dance around Misango with no problem.
Spicy going to change things up, slips the Slamamander on, puts that Lockjaw away. The previous
That
loadout.
could help a lot at Coil.
Yeah, the previous loadout could arguably work, but Spicy would have had to be a lot more aggressive. Like you said, a slugger kind of approaching, where he kind of just stood in place,
Yeah,
and right now he's getting locked into a corner yet again.
yeah. The problem also in the first round is that Lockjaw and Guardian is a very you need to commit to those attacks. So it was very easy for Coil to just dodge to one side, and it was free damage.
Indeed.
Yeah, yeah. This is the reason why I think Coil is one of the best cards in the game, because she can use any of the free styles of boxing easily. You want to play outboxing and use a runaway, you can do that. You want to be aggressive and do a swarmer style, you can do that. You want to play a slugger type, she can definitely do that. It's just very difficult to predict.
Indeed. And yeah, it looks like Eternal gonna be able to get that first point. Just looking for that stage bands. We'll see them hopefully in just a minute.
Yeah, yeah, and as Spice is saying in the Discord chat, Eternal should be proud of that. It was a very good reading and reaction, all of that.
It's it. You. Everybody's got a playstyle, and you shouldn't feel bad about your playstyle, especially if your goal is to win. Like, there are
Yeah,
of course different ways where it can kind of start going into that gray area and maybe not be good, but generally, like, well, especially in a lot of players' eyes, aggression is much more valued and looked up to, especially in the viewer sense, where you tend to get more exciting or interesting matches happening when you're used to the prospect that people are supposed to be aggressive because it's more exciting or entertaining.
yeah, yeah. When you play, you shouldn't worry too much about what the audience expects to see. For example, in Smash Brothers, I play Game and Watch, and everybody hates watching Game and Watch. Right now,
Except
everybody's
for that
hating.
one Game & Watch player that's really popular right now because he won.
Oh yeah, Meister. No, but people are angry at that Game and Watch in particular. Meister is good, but they hate watching Game and Watch.
Yeah.
But he doesn't worry about that. He just plays the best he can.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about competitive gaming is, well, there are sometimes caveats or some people might have their own rules or laws, but if you want to win, you should try to win. And if that means being aggressive, it means being defensive. Usually you want to go with that kind of measure and just try to capitalize on it as much as you can. You can also go into the logistics where if being too defensive tilts somebody and thus makes it easier to be even more defensive, why wouldn't you be defensive?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, mental games are also very valid in competitive.
Mm-hmm. Like, sure, worst case scenario, you might be labeled a villain, but at the same time, like, the villain label isn't really as bad as most people make it out to be, because it generally just means that you play a way they don't like. It's not like you're an actual jerk.
Yeah, and here we just saw Spicy change his playstyle completely, and it got him the first round.
Ooh, we are going to see Spicy change up the parabola for the roaster, though. We'll have to see how this turns out.
Yeah. I do think the drive blast is helping a lot to catch coil, lateral movement. And Spicy is actually really good at reacting to stuff. I played Spicy before and it really shows.
Oh yeah. I still feel like one of Spicy's biggest weaknesses, this is more just a personal thing, I do think their loadout works really well, and as we're seeing right now, they do have a health lead and are definitely playing to a fairly solid level of ability. But I feel like they could definitely get a little bit more out of their character pick if they looked into even just switching out that roaster for like a Chilla, so that they can have some kind of confirm to get safe EMPs. That's one of the big things where basically 90% of the time they're playing a slower, sluggier Springman when they choose Springtron. Yeah,
that's a thing with Springtron. He is, as you said, he's basically the slugger version of Springman, if we go with the boxing style, but he benefits a lot from going outboxer, so he gets free EMPs. It's the same with Min Min. Except Min Min, instead of slugger, she can be more of a swarmer because of her speed, but she benefits from the outboxing.
Indeed. And Spicy going to be able to take a round for themselves, bringing it to 1-1.
Yeah, that was a good adaptation by Spicy. Now let's see if Eternal can adapt back.
I feel like a lot of what... So basically, kind of what's happened here is Eternal started off, and their aggression was really rewarded against the Missango. Missango was a little too defensive, too clunky and slow, but Springtron is able to play around this aggression a little bit more effectively, and that's really what was giving Spicy the advantage. But it looks like we're going to be seeing Spicy going back to Missango. That said, it is... Actually, DNA Lab would be a really good Springtron stage, so I'm curious as to see what's going on here.
Yeah, Temple and DNA are good stages for Springtron and Min Min because it allows them to get their chargers.
Yeah, the pillars allow for very safe coverage, where if you get a knockdown and you have a pillar near you, then that also qualifies as an EMP opportunity. That said, Missango also arguably can get those chances too.
I was gonna say, Missango also benefits from the tubes, so he can get the mask.
That also said, this, if you're not leaning hard enough into going for your benefits, you also have to be cautious that in a lot of cases, like, this is a good stage for Dr. Coil. She can kind of, she just has space now to do everything.
Yeah, and her mobility allows her to use gloves like we're seeing here and move behind a tube, so she can basically safe box it.
Where a lot of other characters kind of would struggle a little bit more to kind of charge in with gloves, Coil is just right at home in here. She, especially as we're seeing right now, like, Eternal has this open space, this open room to move. Spicy's kind of backed up behind that pillar, has to rely on it. And if we see the pillars quickly get beaten down, which could very easily happen, even by Spicy's hand it looks like, that means that they're going to lose out on space, and they're going to lose out on confirms.
Yeah, I do like that Spicy tried to go for the blue mask for a while, realizing that the problem with Misango is before was the slow fight.
Oh, that's going to be a safe rush to land. Not going to get the finishing touch.
Huh, that was weird.
So what was happening there was Spicy kind of got backed up against a wall, so they weren't able to move backwards. So the only way that, because of the way Eternal was positioned, the only way that Spicy could really move was to the left. And that just meant he eventually got pushed out of the rush as Eternal wasn't fixing the
That was a wasted rush.
Yeah. Spicy desperate to try to turn the tides back into their favor, but at that point, would have been safer just to go for like a grab and then try to force their hand. You've always had trouble utilizing Guardian against Coil? That's because it's not good against Coil. Like, you can utilize it if you're extremely proficient at it. But it's one of those cases where there's a lot of characters that Shield Arms are an extremely bad matchup for. Ribbon, Dr. Coil, a lot of the flighty characters that can jump really well. Kid Cobra is a bad character to try to utilize shields against. While it's really good for Kid Cobra, he will just hop over your shields and will always have good openings to kind of punish over them.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, Eternal movement made another waste rush right there.
Oh, he's going to be able to safely block this one, though. Another big thing to note about Dr. Coils, or Mechanica even in this case, is you'll notice that they have these long sweeping dashes. It's not like that steady, quick step that all other characters have. They take these long strides to chase after the opponent. And that can be really good at chasing people. But if you position your dash poorly, that can often mean that when you activate that rush, you'll notice stuff like Eternal just kind of continuing to dash in an endless line onwards and offwards until they veer right away from their opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Spicy should stay with Springtron maybe.
Oh, yeah, it would have been a much better call. I'm always curious to see what players are thinking when they switch back to the character or loadout that didn't work out, or they have a loadout that works and then they change away from it. Sometimes it works, other cases it's going to turn out like this where it's just like, oh hey, I won with this character, but we're going over here, I'm going to change back to this character, and you usually get those kinds of results like we just saw where unless it's a very specific reason, usually does not work out for you.
I'm having some weird connection problems here, like the quality of the voice chat is going down a few times.
Oh. I guess it's just
it should be fine now.
Everything is just cursed right now.
Yeah.
And with that, we are going to be heading into our next bout. Pied Piper will be facing off against Bunny Champ for the semi-final match. Both players ended up just getting buys because only 5 players. So it's a relatively smaller pool.
Yeah. But it also gonna make everybody focus a bit more, I think.
Now, this is always a little bit interesting of a matchup. This is one that I know Piper generally struggles with. Bunny Champ is just really effective at that aggressive pressure, and Piper generally just cannot keep up with it, and he's still trying to find his way through all that kind of pressure. And this is definitely going to be like, Piper's going to have a very difficult climb here. But I do know that Piper has some understanding to the matchup. I actually did some conversation with him a while ago and gave him a couple of ideas. But yeah, it's a lot of it, you can figure stuff out and through explanation and everything. but it only can really go so far. You have to just practice and play and really feel it out for yourself sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And while we wait for Bunny Champ, we're getting Terry in Smash in 2 days.
Yeah, Terry apparently, or at least they're going to do a full in-depth review, or Sakurai is in like 2 days. Less than arguably, because they're doing it like dead in the morning.
Wait. What?
Like, let me look at the time that was.
There you go. You were cut off for a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's gonna be like 5 a.m. PT. That's 6 a.m.
It's 10
my
a.m.
time.
for me, thankfully.
Yeah, that's very early.
Thank God, it's 10 a.m. for me. And it's a 45-minute presentation. That's longer than Hero and Banjo.
Combined.
Yeah. I'm 100% sure the first 10 to 15 minutes is gonna be a history lesson of SNK.
That would be really nice. I know a lot of people would definitely benefit.
If I remember
from that.
correctly, Sakurai actually play SNK games professionally.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he met his wife at an arcade. Also, they're probably gonna reveal the 5th character by the end.
Oh yeah, I'm expecting
Yeah.
a 5th character to show up.
Yeah. My guess is that it's gonna be Ryo Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, or maybe they'll do something like Soul Bad Guy, since everything's talking about Guilty Gear now.
I would love Soul Bad Guy to show up. I would love any of the Guilty Gear characters. If May showed up, I would scream. But it's probably going to be Soul Bad Guy.
Yeah, it will be Soul. And if not, then it will be May.
I would be so happy. No, Kai would probably be the second one. Especially since he's the second character that they're like really showcasing for the new one.
Yeah, but when you talk to people about SNK, they always go to Soul and May. It's like the 2 characters that people know about. It's like when you talk about SNK Fighters, people go to Terry and Mai.
We need another Swordy in Smash.
Hey, May can be a sword fighter.
No, she's an anchor fighter. You gotta vote for Mr. Whale with her.
Could you believe it? Like trying to edge guard on a board with a whale?
Oh god! Like they're
That
up
would
on
be
the
funny.
legend, they're trying to recover, and you just summon a giant whale. They're like, okay, cool, this is balanced, I guess.
Yeah,
You
that
thought
would be
Magic
amazing.
Burst was bad. Just wait for a giant whale.
Oh, there was also it's a picture that is trying to recreate the Ken fake screenshot that was last year. It was a picture where Ivysaur, Pichu, Ken, and Pac-Man were in the Splatoon stage.
Oh yeah.
People said it was fake, but it turned out it was real. A new one appeared like that is on the Hero
Oh no,
stage.
that one is 100% fake.
Oh yeah?
People have pointed out that there's a moment where it's pretty clear that one of the hats glitches out and it shows the old model. A lot of people made the counter argument that, oh, you can't mod hats in Smash Brothers Ultimate. And then within days, we just saw a myriad of posts of people modding in custom hats into Smash Ultimate.
I know that because since Smash Ultimate is built around Smash 4, the game is already has mod.
Yeah,
There's a ton of them. I think so, but a few weeks after the game was released, somebody put Shaggy in the game.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
the other thing too is it's been out for almost a year now. That is a lot of time for modders just to kind of start getting in there, get their claws in, figure out what's going on. And especially since a lot of that stuff has stayed safe in the down under, Nintendo probably doesn't know about most of the things people are probably doing to get those exploits. So they're probably going to be pretty safe in a lot of cases to continue safely modding. And they're kind of just waiting things out, trying to keep things nice and quiet until...
modding the Switch is actually really easy because it's a cartridge-based console, and those are way easier to hack. Because you can create a card that the Switch will read as a game, but it's all the programs. Kind of like there was this 3DS game I called Ninja Cube that has a QR code, and people
Oh
found a
god,
way
yeah,
to use the
Ninja
QR.
Cube.
Yeah, yeah.
The one
That
that's
was
popular
amazing.
because everybody realize, like, it's popular and everybody knows it because it just literally let people hack into the 3DS.
Yeah, it was 3 months, and now the game goes for like $200 online.
Yeah, it's a popular game all of a sudden.
Yeah, I actually tried to find it when I saw that, and it was out. Nobody had it. That was funny.
Shout out to Marcus Umbre, 200 bits, much love, thank you. And also, hello
Hey.
and hoy to, it was Alex. Thanks for dropping by. We're gonna head into our next match though, where Piper is currently facing off against Bunny Champ. Start off with a good lead, but got completely boxed out by that rush. Definitely still trying to figure out how to utilize his tools and how to really capitalize on those rush interactions.
Yeah, going forward with the real boxing thing, this is definitely not a match for Ninjara too much, because swarmers like Ninjara struggle against sluggers, since the slugger can just plow through any attack.
Oh, if
And
that
especially
popper
with the
would have
set.
connected just a bit faster, he could have had the rush confirmed there. But Bunny Champ's not going to be able to connect.
I would have loved to see that rush confirm. I love when rush confirms. I'm addicted to them.
Oh, yeah. Bunny Champ actually has a really solid loadout. It's something that I used for a really long time. And I've only recently moved back to Tri-Blast instead of the nade, as I'm more comfortable and confident in my nade usage, or my Whammer's defensive properties, to such a degree that I'm comfortable enough switching to something a little more aggressive.
Yeah, I need to actually practice a little with explosive arms. Is probably the type of arms I use the least.
Oh yeah. Everybody's got one or two things that they're usually not the greatest at using.
Yeah.
Ooh, a nice rush confirm. Gonna be able to catch the...
Ooh, 335, that's good.
That's still a little bit to go to catch up to Bunny Champ, who has a pretty sizable health lead. And these nades are definitely going to distance that up quite a bit.
Yeah, and also Bunny Champ is only worrying about the charge attacks. Since Piper is not throwing them a lot, Bunny Champ can just go and start punching. Now, on charge attack can actually be good against a heavy like Mechanica, because the Mechanica players can sometimes not realize that is getting hit.
Another thing to note is, while it's not a significant amount, but if you are constantly able to find a way through their aggression and get those chip pokes, your uncharged hits are generally a lot safer. So you can kind of get more of them out, and whenever you get those chip hits, that does stutter the character's movements very slightly and also pushes them back. Which means that usually an armored character is going to try to gun you down if they recognize you don't have a strong knockback, or you're leaning too hard into light arms. So that just prevents them from closing in that distance and getting that pressure that they're trying to go for. But yeah, Mei would be really good in Smash, because she would be the best because she has an anchor, which means she's a different character. And then she would basically have moveset. Well, no, people would see her moveset and they would throw tantrums because they'd look at the moveset and they're like, oh, it's just all these characters mashed together. It's not original.
No, people will blame online mate because she's dolphin spamming or something like that.
I mean, no, they'd show like a couple of samples of some of the characters' moves. At least from what I've been getting to with a lot of communities, I've seen this a lot with Pokemon, and I'm seeing this a lot with Smash, is they'll immediately compare it to old models or models of other characters and be like, oh, it's the same thing, they did nothing, and they'll get really mad at the company for that.
You just remind me of the ESRB leak for Smash 3DS, people trying to say it was fake because Shulk was a modified Little Mac.
Oh god. Wait, he's not even a modified Little Mac. What do you mean by that? Regardless, we're
Anyway.
gonna go back into this. Bunny Chan
Yeah.
switching over to the Glusher.
Oh!
Actually,
That was a good grab, but I don't like that it broke one of the pillars. Ninjara could have used it.
this is an interesting pick. I can see it working, but it basically requires the Bunny Champ be at a height disadvantage, even more so than the Whammer, as it does have that very noticeable arc where the Whammer kind of has a bit of a straightforward approach to it.
Yeah, Bonnie-chan needs to commit more with the Glosher.
Yeah. Which is risky to do, because if you miss with the Glusher, you leave yourself completely exposed.
Oh, arm broke.
And then Bunny Champ, their only option was to punch at that point, but there was a pillar in the way.
Another thing that the Glosher is not really helping here is because Glosher can hit Ninjara while blocking, which is where the Glosher actually shines most, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get that cool poison explosion that a Char Glosher has.
Piper starting off with a bit of advantage there. He actually had a rush confirm, did not follow up with it though from that Slamamander. I'm pretty sure Bunny Champ was in his perfect line of sight just to start punishing.
Oh! Nice!
Ooh, good punish though.
Oh. Yeah.
I know Piper's still trying to figure out a lot of his rush confirms though, and he's working with the wind element's definitely going to help him kind of see those opportunities a bit more. But it is not easy to figure those things out, especially when you're not used to them. You're just looking into code for an entirely different thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also when you are the explosion! Wow, I didn't thought Bonnie had less than 25.
Mm-hmm. You were hoping a WoW character was going to be announced. I don't think that would work out very well if they did these days.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't want to.
Nintendo actually canceled the Overwatch event
at
the New York store.
No, Overwatch. Blizzard canceled that, and then Nintendo threw them under the bus and called them out on it and be like, "Hey, Overwatch canceled their own event, just so you guys know."
Yeah. Yeah, win confirms are a little hard, Piper. If you wanna train them, I Power is basically the best option in that regard because of the hitbox.
The easiest way to kind of learn rush confirms, especially win ones. The first rule that usually comes in mind: if you hit your opponent with a wind arm and they're in a corner, rush. It will land.
Rush immediately, yes.
If you hit them with a popper and you're close to them, rush. It will land.
Yeah,
if you hit them with a popper and they're in a wall, rush. It will land.
Yeah, I do that all the time. In fact, sometimes I need to remember that I can use rush in other occasions, because sometimes I'm just looking for that confirm, and I miss so many other opportunities.
Yeah. If your another couple of ones to note, if you hit your opponent while they're in the air, or they're going to be in the air for an extended amount of time, you could probably rush them.
Yeah. It also works if the opponent is at a higher elevation than you, because if you hit an opponent that's in a higher position than you, they actually stay in the air longer.
Mm-hmm.
Though that is relative also to their weight, because Master Mommy being a heavy, he doesn't stay as long as other characters.
It also depends on if you knock them back like that. If there's higher elevation behind them, there's still the chance that they'll just quickly land on that instead.
Oh, Bonnie-chan is doing a really good job catching with the nade. Oh, and got the rush. Oh, nice. Yeah, Viper needs to keep his distance now, I think. Mostly for the nade, because the Whammer can be dodged.
Yeah, the Whammer's going to be... As long as he's keeping his momentum and staying focused, Whammer, in a lot of cases, is not hard to dodge, especially when it's just kind of being thrown out blindly in a base pattern. Like, it is a good defensive measure, but in a lot of cases, too, it just means that Piper can generally see where it's coming from at all times, because Bunny Champ isn't using it defensively. Isn't focusing on trying to see when exactly is smart to throw it out. So as long as Piper's, like, paying attention to what it's doing, there's a lot of cases he won't get caught by it, but a lot of what's happening here is Piper is so focused on just continuing to keep his momentum, keep up the boxing, that he'll constantly just jump in the air and leave himself completely exposed. And Bunny Champ is just able to continue keeping this constant, steady pressure that's been rewarded time and time again. So there's no reason for him to mix things up, because it's just working.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I remember when I used Whammer a lot. You remember when I first started going to online events? One of my big problems with Whammer was that I didn't know how to treat correctly, and I lost many opportunities to get Dragon Art because of that, because I needed to wait for the Whammer to come back.
And we are seeing that a lot here too, where Piper's so tunneled into just going into these punches and constantly keeping up. He's not paying attention to what exactly Bunny's doing until... Well, he's paying attention to what Bunny's doing, but he prioritizes making sure that he always has an attack happening. And there's a lot of cases he'll just walk himself into corners.
Yeah. Something that I noticed there, really good, I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but the nade didn't hit Ninjara, but the explosion locked Ninjara in place with his shield.
Something that I'd also note, like, this is important in Smash Brothers, this is important in all fighting games. Inputs, like number of inputs, does not always equal victory. Sometimes the important thing to be able to win, to stand on top against your opponent, is to know when to not enter inputs. Know when to just not attack and wait. Know when it is smart to do a jump. When it's smart to attack, and when you can't attack, because if you throw out an attack, then, especially like arms, for example, you sacrifice your movement. Sure, Ninjara still has really good movement, but he doesn't have his complete movement, which means that he'll get a lot more locked into corners. He'll have a lot more difficulty moving around and dodging, like Piper was. But yeah, definitely doing a lot better job, but he's still really focused hard onto just staying always in active combat, always like putting in all of the inputs as much as possible. And Bunny Champ is just capitalizing on that and being like, well, you're just kind of doing way too much of everything, so I'm just going to stick on a base pattern that I know works against you doing literally everything, and I'll take rounds.
Yeah.
Alright, heading into our next bout, it is going to be Adam facing off against Eternal.
Oh yeah, and without spoiling too much, I need to admit that I went deep into the Pokemon leagues.
Oh.
And I'm just gonna say, without spoiling, I've seen a lot of positivity about the designs of the new Pokemon.
So I'm also hearing a lot of negativity, but at the same time, that's
The problem with the negativity is that I can't see I haven't seen any negativity about the designs themselves. It's the negativity that's been from the very beginning, just coming back.
A lot of people have just been angry at this game. Well, it kind of goes into what I was talking about before, where a lot of people in these areas are oftentimes more looking for reasons to be mad at the thing that they like, rather than which I can understand. It's not how it used to be, or not in a certain way that you might be interested in that it once was, but it's also frustrating in the way where it's like, it's you like this thing, why are you yelling at it? Why are you so mad about it?
I mean, I can understand in a way. Some people complain because they care about that stuff and they want the stuff to be better, but some people just don't understand how to be constructive when they talk about this thing.
The ARMS community had a lot of those problems over the last 2 years. 3 years?
Yeah.
3 years. 2 years.
And I can understand people being angry because it's like, it would be like if the next Smash Bros. Suddenly got Mario, for example. Like, why? he's the staple of Smash. He's been in all the game, and then suddenly he's cut. But at the same time, I'm not gonna say the next Smash game is bad just because Mario is not in it. I want to play
Yes,
the
you will.
game. I want to get my opinions right,
Tom,
basically.
you have a Mario hat on your icon. You're legally required to complain about the lack of Mario in every game.
Honestly, this icon I
honestly
made it in Mitomo. I remember.
I'm honestly surprised you haven't complained about the lack of Mario in ARMS. Why haven't you done that yet?
Nah, no, because I honestly like that there's very little Mario nowadays. Even Miyamoto said in an interview in like 2014 that he knows that Nintendo is overly dependent on Mario and his name. So he was like, he said, my team is only gonna make Mario, but I'm gonna encourage new developers to do new things. And even then, he's not taking very big responsibility with Mario. All of this is in his protege, Yoshiaki Koizumi.
Piper says getting good is probably based on get good. Get good came in as a response to salty people telling other people who are salty that they're not good enough and they just have to get good. There's getting
and
good is a story. It's an arc where you've learned to overcome your challenges and become better. Get good is not constructive feedback.
Yeah, get good is basically destructive feedback, in my opinion.
It's basically the lol, just don't get hit, bro.
Yeah.
Where getting good is your story about improving and learning how to play and utilizing your abilities in a way to play as well as Adam Brain is right now, or Eternal trying to keep up with Adam Brain.
Yeah, and I just realized Adam in this run is apparently going for a perfect.
Now he's gonna get the shield ticket.
Yeah. Oh, nice grab by Adam. But it's an uphill battle right now for Adam. Yes, I mean for Eternal. I'm done.
Oh yeah. Well, it's an uphill battle, which is ironic because it appears that Adam Brain was actually on the lower part of the hill. Regardless, it's not much of an uphill battle for them as they're going to be able to take a very confident.
I'm looking everything backwards today.
Yes.
I'm getting everything backwards today.
I mean, you were technically right, but in terms of the humor of it, that was backwards.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it was a very much, that was like a clear-cut case example of what an uphill battle is. But then you look at the fact that Eternal was higher on the hill than Adam, and you're like, oh, wait. Yeah, in ARMS, a lot of it is just recognizing when you don't need to attack. Or when you shouldn't attack.
Yeah.
Because...
yeah, I was reading that. Gil is right.
Because when you have your arm out, like, you lose so many options. I can't jump well. I can't shield. Only option is, like, short hops, short dashes, and punch the other arm. Where if I don't have anything, I can shield, I can jump, I can dash... And then I can still punch with both my arms, or go for a grab. Like, you have so many more options when you have yet to attack. And that's something a lot of people don't figure... Like, it's kind of where people have a bit of an arc, where they start off, and they're just throwing punches. That's all they do. Because you're just learned that's how you attack, and you're like, well, I have to attack to win, so I'm just gonna attack. Yeah. But then, eventually... people start to realize, oh, if I'm not attacking right, then I lose. So then they become extremely cautious and reserved. And you'll see a lot of players, especially like early Ninjara players, who will basically never attack first. They will always...
Yeah.
A lot of players actually kind of follow the arc of the AI in a lot of cases. Like, you'll see this with Twin Tails, you'll see this with Ninjara, where they kind of just sit there and they watch. Yeah. And then as soon as the opponent starts playing, that's when they're like, this is when I start playing. Because now I'm utilizing Ninjara's speed or Actress Aura.
Yeah, I used to play like that in early stages of ARMS too. Like, I backdash and get the Dragon Arm, but never threw a punch unless my opponent did it.
And then as soon as you get the Dragon Arm, then you're really aggressive. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever given the AI for this game the credit it kind of deserves. I'm just going to do that right now. While the AI is cheap, annoying, very exploitable, and in a lot of cases dumb, especially the Mechanica AI, it's also really a good showcase of kind of, maybe not the true cut way you can play a character or like the best way, but it shows you a very standard what you can expect from this character and how to make them work well.
Yeah.
Springman maybe being one of the Springman and Brass being one of the very few cases where that's and Springtron, I guess, being some of the few cases where that's not necessarily the case because they kind of play hyper aggressive and they don't utilize their deflect well. That also said, that AI is probably set that way because if the AI utilized their deflects, they would be literally unstoppable and it would
it would be impossible. Yeah, I do remember Jabuki at the Game Developers Conference saying that because of how many arms combinations you can have on a character, they had to program the AI to balance the game. They were running short time and they couldn't balance everything by themselves, so they made AI matches to see how this character used this arm.
Yeah.
And I think that helped a lot making the AI what it is.
Oh, yes. And it definitely helped out in just making everything a really good place.
Yeah. I would love if ARMS 2 ever becomes a reality, if they could get anybody from the Japan competitive scene to help with the balancing.
I would kind of be really excited if they contacted me and they're like, hey, could you help out with the balancing too? I would.
It could be possible. Smash Brothers has 4 professional Japanese players in the testing.
Oh yeah. Well, those are Japan players though. I want to be a part of that. I personally think I'm very unbiased and am very informational or subjective. That word. I am very good at being like cognizant and aware of like a lot of the opportunities and abilities and what probably is going to work here and how it does that and so on and so forth. You can see that with my tier list that I made and my stage guide and how it's not talking specifically about how I see things, but how things would appear to me overall.
Yeah. No, I think actually that you could make a very good job at balancing a ARMS sequel because.
Oh really? You heard that? Tom thinks like.
No, I'm being honest.
I know you're being honest, but. It's such a
because you're very analytical of this game and you really are able to see a lot of things that I'm not seeing sometimes.
Heading back into this match though, Adam Brain currently holding on to a light lead right now against Eternal. But Eternal does have that rush ready and is likely going to try to use
Eternal, I think, wants to put Adam in the hot pocket and then go for the rush.
I'm not. Oh, there it comes.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to hold it out and try to capitalize with a grab or something along the lines, but eventually just realized that Adam just wasn't getting caught by that stuff, and they just felt the need to throw out their rush. That's going to be a weakened shield as a result, but nothing too serious beyond.
Yeah. Yeah. Eternal is a I was gonna say Eternal was dodging Twin Toss grab very easily, and just got grabbed.
Yeah. Eternal trying to set things up to get the KO. That could have been the kill right there. Yeah. Adam could have saw that moment. But because they did not go for that rush off of that whiff and just kind of waited things out, Eternal going to be able to get the KO.
Yeah, Adam waited a little too much there.
That was just a pinch too much hesitation.
Yeah.
But definitely very earned from Eternal. Some good pressure, some smart plays. And it just worked out well enough for them. They're going to be able to bring the score to 1-1.
Yeah. That goes with what you were saying. It's about knowing when it's good to wait and when it's good to attack.
Mm-hmm. That was a really good example of this is a great moment to attack in this specific way. But Adam just didn't see that. Their brain as massive, filled with atoms as it is, was not
Yeah.
able to catch on to that one tiny answer. And
Those particular atoms were asleep at the moment.
yeah, they were. I mean, Adam was pretty low on health. I'm pretty sure they were just knocked out cold.
Yeah.
But we'll see if Adam's able to wake them up and get them rolling again for this next bout, potentially turning things back in their favor.
Mausoleum is an interesting stage for these two characters, in my opinion, because of their abilities and mobility.
Mm-hmm. Neither one really wants to get into a corner. I actually say this is Well, it sucks to have Dr. Quill not be cornered at all. I'm pretty sure this is a good play on Adam's part, as they were more often than not the one getting backed into a corner, forced back.
Yeah.
This means that they are more often just guaranteed to have at least an extra outing.
Mm-hmm.
Where Eternal's probably going to have just about as much free space as they had before. Maybe a little bit more. So far, though, starting off with a light lead against Adam, just utilizing some really good pressure, some safe movement, and Adam trying to figure their way back into this coil.
Yeah, that is a good use of Actress Aura to stop the nade. I suck at dodging nades, honestly.
Well, actually, this isn't something a lot of people think, but the strategy, the best way to kind of capitalize on if somebody's going in for a nade roaster, what their optimal performance is they're going to clear. Obviously, they want to hit you with both. But if they're not hitting you with both, their alternative option is they want to whip with roaster and they want to hit shield with nade, because both recover most quickly in that way. So what you want to do is you want to try to force them to do the opposite. Whipping with nade takes forever for it to come back, and roaster hitting a shield also takes forever to get back. And that's how you saw Adam actually got that KO, was because they safely blocked the roaster and punished with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and going with a cooler is a good idea to stop Coil.
Yeah. Coil players a lot like Kid Cobras, Ribbon Girls, so on and so forth. A lot of those players generally struggle against Ice Chains because of how infrequent it is that they deal with it. It's more of just a player matchup thing than anything. I've had bouts with Astro where it's just like, granted, I do have a lot of advantages being a giant heavy Mechanica, but it's like, because of a lot of those opportunities, you can just really, obviously you can scare a lot of lighter characters too, but Coils and Ribbon Girls or Kid Cobras, a lot of them will just not know what to do and will oftentimes play into your hands very easily.
Yeah, and for some players, being frozen it also puts them in a panic sometimes.
Oh yeah, and if you have the right setup, such as armor just to eat through their random hits, or they go for a grab and you just recognize it and you just go for a chilla. There's a lot of cases, or especially like Mechanica Coil, they have strong enough movement where if the opponent just throws out an attack, there's a lot of cases they're just going to miss and then you just get a free hit.
Yeah.
And with all that said and done, Adam Brain going to be moving on 2-1 against Eternal to face off against Bunny Champ, which seems to be a common matchup we're getting these days.
Yeah.
These two tend to show up quite a bit, especially in winter finals and oftentimes grand finals. Okay, looks like thanks to Gaddyshak, the editor for this channel, he's actually covered a tweet from Nintendo Versus that says, during this live stream, there are no announcements regarding any unrevealed fighters. I know a lot of companies lie. Nintendo does, to my memory, Nintendo isn't necessarily one to be that much of a liar, so I feel like we can take their word for this. It's going to be all discussion about Terry.
Yeah. No, and I can see that because the problem I don't know, maybe I put it on on the tweet I made, but it's either in that thing that is confirmed not, they're saving the 5th Carter for the Game Awards in December.
Oh god, that's
it's definitely gonna be there.
That's obvious play. How did I not think? I mean, I guess I know why I didn't think of that, because I don't think about those kinds of things.
Yeah,
that makes sense though.
Yeah, it's gonna be like right before the game of the year announcement, or right before the fighting game of the year, or something like that, and they're gonna just drop the trailer, and it's gonna be a full cinematic showing, I don't know, Fulgor from Killer Instinct or something like that.
And the winner is Guilty Gear 2020, which isn't out yet, but they're getting the reward. Oh, speaking of Guilty Gear, you guys, here's this new character that's going to be unveiled in Guilty Gear. Oh no, hey, this character's also showing up in Smash tomorrow. Have fun.
Oh, oh yeah, that will be also a big given. Yeah, for the Game Awards, I'm expecting Nintendo to drop a Smash trailer, any type of Smash trailer, and maybe a new teaser for Metroid Prime 4. I know they just restarted development this year with Retro Studios, but I don't know. I have this feeling that we're gonna see a little teaser there.
It's been 6 months. If they've had any chance to be able to work on it, I feel like now they've had that time. We might see something.
Hmm. And just recently, Halo's character modeler joined the team as a character designer for Metro Prime 4.
Ooh, that is exciting to hear. That guy is good.
Samus is gonna have a very Halo-looking armor, which
I'm fine with
honestly will
that.
be a good redesign.
Sure, her iron armor definitely would complement that kind of style. Speaking of style, we are going to see Bunny Champ actually switching over to Sprintman here. I think this is just a clear-cut recognition that Adam Brain just has Bunny Champ's Mechanica down pat. Just we saw the results from the previous tournament. Like, there were basically perfects every round. Where this time we're gonna have Bunny Champ switching over to Sprintman. They can make the Sprint or Twin Tail work in the near matchup, but I feel like it just frustrates them more than anything, and they're looking to try to have some other kind of answers.
Yeah, and Adam just got Springman serve on a play there with the Coolerang stopping him, and now going with the Guardian. That's interesting. I think the idea for the Guardian here is to throw off the timing of the shockwaves.
Ooh, potentially.
Yeah, I like to use Scully against Springman exactly for that, to ruin their timing.
So this matchup's always interesting in other ways as well. One of the big things I know is the fact that these two characters are a lot more similar than a lot of people would think in a lot of cases. People don't tend to compare the Deflect to Actress Aura, but in a lot of ways, they are basically the same thing.
Yeah, I do remember an old Reddit post, somebody asking how to deal with this, and honestly, the best way to deal with both these characters is sometimes patience. Like, since both Springman and Twintel can play very defensively, trying to bait the opponent into going into a bad offensive move is sometimes a good idea.
Generally, though, I do feel like in this matchup, Twintel is a little bit more advantage, especially when advantage, she just has so much more control. Because the Actress Aura is just a lot more consistent and available, where Springman's Deflect has to be called upon. You have to set it up, and then you have to release it.
And right there, we saw what I said. The Guardian actually threw the timing of the shockwave off.
And yeah, through that, Adam going to be able to take the first set and sets them up with advantage.
Yeah, Twintel in this case it has the advantage because, as you say, Actress Aura is a lot more consistent than the shockwave. Especially because Twintel doesn't sacrifice anything with the Actress Aura. Springman needs to sacrifice a full charge.
Yeah. And if Springman ends up going for the full charge, then he doesn't get the deflect. Where Twintel still technically got the Actress Aura's
full charge
effects.
and the Actress Aura, Yeah, Twintel here can play a lot more safe because she doesn't lose anything.
That also said, waiting things out, being patient, being aware of what your opponent's doing, both work very well, especially against Actress Aura or a standard deflect. And that's a lot of why that matchup is so interesting, is it's a constant back and forth between who's kind of holding on to a better ground of what's happening in that match.
Yeah, and I do agree with Astro Ninja in chat saying that is the best defensive ability in the game, because it directly tied to Twintel's char. I don't remember how long does Twintel's char last.
The best defensive ability is Dr. Coil. Just her existence. Best ability is being her.
Being here.
But I would have to agree. Armor is really effective. Deflect is really solid. Having both, such as Brass, is really nice. But just like, if you were to pick one base defensive ability, I'd probably have to say Actress Aura.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do to play around it, but at the same time, it just, as a consistent rule on what it asks from the match, in terms of a defensive tool, it is definitely one of the strongest, if not the strongest.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially because armor is always active, but
oh, the bait
it
did
can
not
be
work
overcome.
out.
Oh.
But Bunny Champ didn't use the whammer at all. I feel like that was just forgot to press that input, or was so startled with it actually working. Kind of just forgot to throw out that attack, which I can understand. I've done that before. Oh, that rush gonna come out a little blind, not gonna properly connect.
Okay, I look up in the wiki. I didn't remember. Twintel actually shares the lowest chart time in the game, alongside Biden Bark, Min Min, and Ribonger, and Misango in the Blue Mask.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's
sorry.
just. I can see why.
Second lowest.
I can see why she has that such a low charge rate in that case, because.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah,
it looks like it's super long, but that's because most Twintels spend so much time in Actress Aura that it just makes it look a lot more extended.
Yeah, it's used 1.6 seconds. The lowest one is actually Dr. Coil at 1.1 seconds.
And then, but you don't see that too often because of just the fact that Dr. Coil literally, the way she moves in place can basically allow her to always be charged.
Yeah. Yeah, the longest duration according to this is actually Springton at 9.25 seconds.
That's when he EMPs.
Yeah. And after that is Max Brass at 5.5 seconds, basically.
Yeah. I'm guessing those two characters are probably like about where Springtron is, a little bit lower than that when they're not utilizing their buffed up state, though.
Yeah.
And granted, I've not... Oh, no, that stuff should be updated with the patch notes and everything like that. I'm pretty sure they fixed that to stay up to date.
Yeah, it should be updated.
I'd also note quickly here, Adam Braid basically just got a perfect on that last round. And Bunny Champ gonna try to go for the uncharged confirm, but just was not close enough to be able to make things work out.
Yeah. It's an interesting fight of Lord here because the Guardian can stop the Whammer a little, but depending on distance, I think the Guardian is at a disadvantage here.
I think, honestly, at this point, Adam's more experimenting. We've already seen the results of, like, Twintel double roasters against Bunny Champ, and we know those results.
Yeah.
We know that Adam could definitely do that if he really wanted to. But this is, like, trying to do something a little bit different, trying to see how he can really utilize his other arms, especially what's clearly his personal favorite.
Yeah. I was thinking right there, Bunny Champ used the Whammer because it was a shield break.
Yeah. Just really patiently waited things out, got the break, got the finishing touch with the nade, and a huge chunk of damage with the Whammer. And all that is going to lead into Bunny Champ being able to get a point. It's fun to experiment. It's great to learn. But if you're wanting to win, sometimes you can't do those tests. That also said, this is off-season. I don't think anybody's too worried about...
Yeah, I think it's because of off-season that Aaron went for experimentation.
Yeah. There's more testing, more trying things out, seeing how things kind of feel and flow. Maybe I should enter more of these just because, but I don't know. We'll see. Now that it's not like as hardcore and serious.
She will rig every tournament to win.
I mean, my existence rigs the tournaments for me to win half the time. I'll be like, oh, I haven't played ARMS in like a month. I do really want to play in this tournament though. I guess I will. And I'll make it to grand finals on winter side. I'm like, I guess I'm here now. Or I'll be like, oh, I haven't played in a while, but whatever. I'm probably rusty. I'll play in this bracket. Come across Astro, somehow get an Ice Chain, get a KO, get a near perfect against him. He ends up winning overall, but I'll stop him like, but I'm rusty. How did I get that? What is this game?
Yeah, that happened to me when Save Arms did the Best in the World tournament, where I got fifth, and I haven't played in a tournament for months, and I was like, how did I get fifth?
How did I get here? What happened that
Yeah.
led to this scenario? The math doesn't add up. I added 1 to 3, and I got 17.
Yeah.
Let me
At
try
that
the
moment
math again, and you get 17 again. You're like, but that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. At that moment, we became Desmond the Moon Bear.
Yeah.
How did I get here?
Exactly. But that kind of goes into a point that I just made in Discord chat a little bit ago, and I'll kind of keep going with. Rust, especially in ARMS, considering most of ARMS is being aware of confirms, matchups, footsies in general, and neutral play, Rust is more of a mental thing. You don't have bread and butters, you don't have combos as much per se.
Yeah, you don't need to train muscle memory for a combo in this game.
You have
So it's more a mental thing, as you said.
You have reactions, but that's like the biggest thing. But you realistically have good reactions as long as you have good mental health. So I get a lot of people who will talk about, oh, I'm so rusty, I haven't played in forever, oh, I'm gonna be terrible, and then they'll do really good, and they'll be like, wow, I must be amazing, or wow, how did that happen? It's like, Rust doesn't affect people in this game. The only relevant thing you can really use Rust for is more of an excuse to make jokes. Like, realistically, Rust means nothing in this game. As long as you just as long as you have the same, like, understanding of things, you're probably going to do exceptionally. Like, I can pick up this game once a month. I watch a lot of these matches, and that's cool and everything. But, like, I could easily just, like, pick up, like, I could probably stop playing this game, not run these tournaments, not watch a single thing, pick it up a month later, and I'd probably be able to beat a lot of people still, just based on my understanding of how things work in this game.
Yeah, that's in my opinion.
Oh
being
no! Oh, it's gonna work!
Oh.
He should have just waited in the shield, but fearing the grab, he's gonna dash right into that rush.
Yeah, but as I was saying, that's probably ARM's biggest strength. That because it's so simple to play, you really never forget how to play it. At the same time, I think that's why some people look away from this game, because at this point people are expecting fighting games to be like, oh, the character needs to do a 100 hit combo or a stupid thing like that.
You require 360 no scopes in the fighting game.
Yeah.
Where are my 360 no scopes? Why can't I spin around 360 degrees and no scope my opponent in an ARMS match?
I need to mention also, I remember in the early days of ARMS, especially in the Chilean community I was, people complain about Twinkle mirror matches as being like, is it like watching two turtles trying to fight? This is basically the opposite.
I mean,
these two twinkles are going in.
Well, that's a lot of that is just impatience on the player end. Like, from how I've always seen things, this is pretty much how it's always been. Like, even from the start, because they'll play very defensively, and then they quickly realize, like, it might be the first 20 seconds they're kind of doing their game plan, and then 20 seconds in, they're like, wait a second, I don't actually have the ability to do this, because my opponent's also doing this. I need to start speeding things up a bit.
Yeah, I remember during the party Crash Bash when it was Ninja versus Ribbon Girl, somebody on Twitter said, "Oh no, it's gonna be a bunch of time of the entire weekend."
And in a lot of cases, it can and will boil down to timeouts. But that's
Yeah.
fine. That's what this game is. There's so many intricacies that kind of go into it. It's not like, oh, this match is going to be a timeout because it's two Jigglypuffs hanging on either side of the battlefield, just floating and waiting for the other to be the one to approach. Like, you literally are in the same room. You have, like, so little space to work with half the time. Like, they'll miss each other constantly, but it's a constant battle of trying to be the one to get those extra hits. In a lot of cases, when you have two defensive characters pitted against each other, those are some of the most aggressive matchups that you'll see, because they will just recognize, oh hey, I can't just like be dodgy, I need to try to force or bait my opponent into something, and it just is a very constant back and forth.
Yeah. Personally, in ARMS, I don't mind a timeout because it's actually something that very common in real boxing. Like, after a bunch of rounds, like, boxing matches can go up to round 20 if necessary. And after that is the judges are the ones to decide who wins if nobody gets a KO.
Actually, Piper makes a good point. And but like, if you go into the extreme, but then it kind of just turns funny where it's two Master Mummies sitting in shield trying to heal back up again. And but it's really exciting too because you see them start healing, and then one realizes, wait, they have the advantage. What do I do? I need to do something. And then you'll see them quickly go in for something, and another one will be like, haha, I punish you. And then it becomes, again, a really interesting exchange, a really exciting back and forth between the two players. Because, just like in every other case, it's not like Smash Brothers where you're like, oh, we're on the same stock, therefore I can just wait and it's fine. It's like, oh, you just have the health lead, therefore I have to do something, because otherwise, no.
Yeah. That's actually something that I always think ruins the pacing of Smash Brothers. The invincibility you get after respawning. Now, they did change it so if you stay in the spawn platform for a long time, your invincibility goes away faster. But it's like, in a real match, that doesn't happen. The people will go on and abuse those 3 seconds of invincibility to actually get a punish. And the only thing you can do is like, I can only stall, for example. For me it's easy because I'm a Game & Watch player, so I can go off stage, then up B and grab the ledge, and I'm safe. But it really ruins the pacing of a match, in my opinion.
It kind of does, but it also, what that basically means is you've timed them out of their invincibility. Congratulations. You're now on the ledge, and your opponent has entire neutral. Like, that's kind of what the exchange is, where it's like, that's kind of what the dynamic is trying to be, is to have that set exchange of, this player took the advantage, so now the other player is going to have an opportunity to catch up. And they can utilize that to have you run into a corner and jump off the ledge, stay on the ledge for a few moments, and now they have the entire neutral space. It could be you running away or just getting pummeled and getting KO'd. Generally, it leads to the player who's disadvantaged hopefully having a better opportunity to become advantaged.
Yeah, no, I know that.
It's just, it's still like, awkward because it's like, now I've got to wait for this to disappear so I can continue fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, a nice rush there! Just gonna be able to power right through that. Yeah,
Adam is benefiting for starting as a very aggressive twin tail that really allows Adam to set the tempo of the battle.
Bunny Champ was able to play their twin tail really effectively in the last bracket and ended up leading them to be able to win. But I feel like Adam Brain actually did some practice, some reviewing, and some studying between then and now. Like, considering they had a lot of time where they could have just been like, alright, tournament's over, goes to sleep, wakes up, and they're like, all right, I've got 30 minutes of time. Let's look back at these matches because the VODs are just there for, well, not even the stream VODs. Like, they literally just have them on their Switch. They're like, let's watch some videos of what happened and just, like, make some small notes. And I'm pretty sure they're just applying a lot of what they picked up from that kind of studying. And again, that's something you don't see very often in this game, in this scene. People never talk about labbing, experimenting, studying. You'll see a couple of players do it here and there, and this is one of the reasons why I always implore people to listen to these matches. Like, while we're getting really off topic, we are also bringing up a lot of really nice informational stuff, such as, like, studying, labbing, research. This stuff makes huge differences on the battlefield later because it just turns into information that's in your head.
I appreciate Adam's patience with the Guardian. You see how Adam throws the Guardian and he waits for the Guardian to get the angle.
Mm-hmm. But like, the Whammer was causing him a lot of trouble in the past, but because of a lot of study research and just the matches that he's had, it definitely looks like Adam's just warmed up to how to play around the Whammer, and this thing is just struggling a lot more against Adam Brain in general here.
Yeah. Also, I need to mention, since you mentioned the replay system in ARMS, I really like the replay system. I just wish it was easier, like, to watch the match itself, because it loops the same round over and over unless you press L or R.
Mm-hmm.
I kinda wish I didn't have to do that, and I also wish it has the stage music instead of that generic replay music.
Honestly, what I would have preferred most, no music. Doesn't need music. Just get rid of that music. That way you can make montage videos a lot more easily.
Yeah.
That way you could, the music isn't important. You might be looking for audio cues, and the audio cues are definitely really important in this game for a lot of people.
Yes.
Like, the music specifically there is probably, like, it's nice music. It's cool. It's okay. It's probably the one case where I'm going to look at a song and be like, that's not good. Get rid of that. Just don't have it there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember during the early days of ARMS, fighting game channel Maximilian Dude actually played this game online a little, and he really appreciated the fact that Rush gives you a sound cue when it's ready.
Yes.
Yeah, it helps a lot, actually, because sometimes you're so into the fight that you don't look at your super meter. So having a visual representative or an audio cue helps a lot.
Yeah, the audio cues are very appreciated, very beneficial. But yeah, I wish there would... That's one thing that probably would make this game just a little bit better, is if you had the option to turn off music. Or at the very least, genuinely, just not have it in the replays. That would be... I would have been so much more interested in making those montage videos that I made. I'm pretty sure most people who made highlight reels or montages...
Yeah, no, I do a montage video with clips, like once a month, and yeah, I would really... I'd be glad if I could take off the music.
Yes. It would be very nice.
That's actually like a common problem Nintendo in general has. I remember Jordan Amaro, who is a level designer in Splatoon 2, did an interview and explained how the Japanese mentality is. Japanese people are very proud of their work, so they don't like too much to have other people modify their work.
I can understand that. They deserve to be proud. This stuff is good. But at the same time, I wanna be able to do a little bit more. Let me work with this stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. But it's also good because, for example, when Platinum Games made Bayonetta 2, Nintendo was like, this is your game to your game. We're only putting the money. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the good thing about that mentality, is that they respect each other's work. But at the same time, there's a moment when you need to see and be like, we need to modify this a little. For example, in Xenoblade 2, the villains were designed by Tetsuya Nomura, and it shows in the character artwork. They look like Kingdom Hearts characters, like no joke. And then you look at the other characters art, and they just don't look anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a point when they need to learn how to compromise, basically.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Like, it would be nice. I'm sure we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon. I mean, it is definitely possible. Smash Brothers has the option to turn off music.
Yeah, but that's because that's Sakurai, and Sakurai technically is independent. He doesn't work for any company.
That is true. But we never know.
And because it's Sakurai, and he could do, and also because it's Sakurai, and he could literally put a pile of poop in the game as a playable character, and people will be like, okay, poop for Smash then.
I mean, people would literally lose their shit on that, but eventually you'd probably see the pile of fecal matter show up in tournament matches and probably get like top 8 at some point. And people will.
When Dragon Quest XI was released for the Switch, Sakurai was in the party live stream, and he said, if Square Enix gave me a slime for a playable character, I will make a playable slime. So we almost got a playable slime in Smash.
I know a lot of people were excited at the prospect of that actually happening.
I would have loved that. Like, hero? No, give me slime.
Maybe one day. Maybe we'll see, like, when we get to, like, Ultimate XRD Rev 2, new funky new mode, final remix, 358 over
Sakurai
2 days.
I'm pretty sure Sakurai could make an entire fighting game using only minions, like Goombas, Boo, the Slimes,
Piranha Plant! If we're just looking for an example of how that would actually go, which is fantastically. As Piranha Plant's probably one of the most interesting and exciting characters in Smash Brothers, along with every single other character. They are all the most interesting and exciting character in Smash Brothers. We've got a really exciting rush, though, coming out of Piper, utilizing that
was a
shield
really good
teleport.
catch by Piper. And I just realized Bonnie-chan went with the Bob.
Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to go for a more consistent boxing down. Or is just trying different things out against Piper to see how Piper responds to it.
Yeah.
And then Piper is like, no, don't. I win. You have go Whammer. Otherwise, I win.
Yeah. If I was against Piper in this match, I honestly would have go maybe a Scully buff or Chilla buff.
One of the big things about the buff that's going to make it struggle a little bit more is the fact that it is probably going to be Bunny Champ's least consistent way to knock down. Whammer has the stun, the flinch to allow for a follow-up to get that knockdown, where now Bunny Champ isn't getting knockdowns whenever that connects. It does a bit of light damage, and that's good, but Piper will just continue to get back into his momentum, and while his playstyle leaves himself vulnerable to the Whammer's punishment, doesn't leave him nearly as vulnerable to Bob kind of coming in slowly and methodically for him to kind of step aside from.
That was a good rush from Piper. He stopped the Bob right in his face.
That was very well timed. And he's not... Oh, he almost got it there.
He tried. He tried.
I was pretty confident he was not gonna be able to do that, but there was that little moment where you're like, maybe he can. Actually, no, he definitely could have. That's another one where he was so set on his movement. I'm pretty sure that if he just took a moment to stop, he probably would have had so much freedom to dodge out of that.
And Bonnie Champ went back to the Whammer. It's the final round. It's just winning now.
But now he really has to stay focused on just keeping that movement.
You can say that the glove is off.
Haha! And the Wham is on. And Bunny Champ gonna start off with a good lead, just again utilizing the Whammer generally as they want to be able to counter out Piper's approach, Piper's attacks, and with it just holding on to his solid lead as Piper constantly is just tempoing himself right into those things.
For a moment, I thought Bonnie was gonna be able to block.
Bunny Champ would have been able to block, but Bunny Champ chose to throw out a nade and whiffed it
Yeah.
completely. I'm pretty sure there was no way that was going to be able to connect. But the whammer is going to definitely connect. And this first point is going to go to the champ.
There's a lot of times in this game where I see the health bars and I'm like, I have enough, and then I get knocked out by one attack. I'm like, huh, I actually had less health than I expected.
Spicy asks, anyone in chat play Fire Emblem Heroes? I played it for a while. It never got competitive Fire Emblem, and that kind of got me not interested in it because I wanted...
Yeah.
Like, I was
No,
really excited. I actually, to the degree that I almost wanted to run events for it. I was going to try to figure out how to get my phone connected to my stream setup so that I could stream my phone so that I could run tournaments for Fire Emblem Heroes. But it turned out that it was a different new mode. I think it's the Vortex or whatever that was in the top right corner. And I was like, oh. I still enjoyed it for a little bit, but that's when my interest started to dip. And then eventually I just stopped playing. I haven't played it in a long
for
while.
me, this is a complaint I having with a lot of mobile games. They don't release in Chile day one. So Fire Emblem Heroes was not available in Chile. I had to download the APK and install it. It worked for like 1 or 2 months. Then the APK, I never found the updated version, and I decided to drop it by that point.
Yeah.
And it got released in Chile like almost a year later.
Why?
Well, yeah, why? Mario Kart Tour was released globally. Pokemon Go was released globally. But Dr. Mario, no, Super Mario Run was released globally, but that was because Apple did it. And not even Mitomo was released globally. I remember I got Mitomo like 3 months after it got released.
Oh god, that's so bad. That's like when
Yeah.
all the momentum is just starting to dip away too, so it's like...
Yeah.
You're like, oh cool, now I can start getting in, sharing memes and become Paul. Everybody's... Where are you all walking out?
Thankfully, that's only with the mobile games. With the big games, they're always doing a global release.
Yeah, Nintendo's been... And a lot of other companies have been making bigger efforts to stay on just like consistently global releases. And generally, even
I
when
remember
it's not...
early this year, Tetsuya Nomura got really angry because like 3 copies of Kingdom Hearts 3 got leaked on Mexico.
Oh,
And he got so angry that he actually said on Twitter, I'm not doing worldwide releases anymore. However, he is not in charge of that, and Square Enix is like, no, we're releasing Final Fantasy VII globally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand being angry at leaks, but at the same time, you can't ruin people's hype for a game like that.
Leaks are leaks, and every game has them these days. It's like...
Yeah.
You can get
Remember
mad
it's
at the community, you can yell at people, but it's like... Especially, like, when you have millions of this thing coming out, and then, like, 3 people leak it, it's like, what are you gonna do? That's 3 people.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go hunt them down, but that's a huge waste of money.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the big thing, like for example, Nintendo does is that they sometimes send a copyright strike against, for example, somebody on the 3DS version of Smash Brothers basically got a reworking like a month before it was revealed, and Nintendo took down the Twitch channel.
yeah.
I can understand that, for example.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I think the biggest leak was for Smash Bros. Brawl. It got leaked like 3 months before it got released in Japan. Like pirated copies were circulating and the entire game was available.
God.
And Sakurai didn't say anything.
I mean, sometimes it's better not to say anything. Just keep your head down and stay focused and keep at your work.
Yeah, and also that's the big difference between Sakurai and Nomura. Sakurai knows he's a public figure, and anything he says is gonna be used against him.
Yeah, people just want to hate people because they're popular. So it's like, you don't you want to be safe. You want to be smart about how you're doing things, how you're going about things.
And I want to apologize to Bonnie Chan because Bonnie just got a both round right there, and we were just rambling about.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of been doing that here and there. Like,
Yeah.
we're still having conversations, and there are a lot of exciting match rounds happening. But at the same time, the NA Scrapstar has kind of turned more into a Malieve podcast.
Spicy
Malieve
makes
Mumble. It's more. It's in certain ways, it's Malieve Mumbles, and it's just me talking about stuff. And like, there's a tournament. Like, this is why I kind of want. Like, I really want Animal Crossing to get in my hands. Because I'm not good at talking about this kind of stuff when I'm playing games. When I'm spectating games, or if I'm doing something a lot more casual. So, you know, stopping with watching stream. You should probably stop watching the stream, Piper, considering you're competing. And oftentimes we will talk directly about stuff. It arguably, there are cases where it can be considered cheating to do that. Especially if we're giving feedback about this stuff. Which all the more reason for me to just go into podcast mode and just kind of ramble about Nintendo and news and interesting things.
Yeah. Spicy made a good point in the Twitch chat. When Nintendo tries to take down a league, that kind of confirms it's true. And that's just... Yeah.
That's why usually you see most leagues just untouched. Because they kind of figured out, oh, that's how people figure out stuff. Let's just kind of leave it.
It's been a year since the Grinch League for Smash Ultimate. Remember that?
Oh.
The Grinch League.
Believe is too entertaining and distracts me. Bunny Champ, stop listening to the stream, you two! I will set up a full minute delay on the tournament. Like, I have no issue setting up that delay. Tom watches this stuff fine. He's in the lobby. I watch this fine. I'm in the lobby. We have a clear, concise way of communication. I will set up a 1 minute delay on this so you all can't be hearing directly what we're talking about.
Wow. Okay, back again to the fight. Piper has been dodging a lot of grabs there and stopped the rush.
Right
nice.
through the rush.
Yeah.
It's
I can see.
It's not the
Piper,
most exciting, but gloves. Oh, obviously, gloves are really good, and going double gloves against especially Mechanica, it's a good answer. It works well.
Yeah.
Especially when witchcraft is happening and Bunny Champ is just eating hits to the face that I don't even see anywhere.
Yeah. Piper got really comfortable right now. Like, he was really in the zone right there.
Oh, yeah. Definitely got some good tempo, got some really good plays.
Yeah.
Piper with the roasters, the Mechanica clear, but basically. Roaster, it's either roasters or toasters. You look at it one way or another. Those are generally the least liked arms by any Mechanica to be playing against because they just most consistently chase down and pummel mechs.
Yeah.
But that's what that Whammer's there for, is kind of an answer to that, at the same time not.
Oh, poor Piper right there.
Gonna go for it, set up for the rush, and it's gonna be able to connect a solid bait out with that grab. Right now, Piper trying to find a way in, but this pressure is just walloping him good. And we're finally gonna see our first damage on that center platform. Bunny Champ definitely wanting to be a little more careful around there now.
Yeah, I think Piper will benefit a lot if the trampoline comes out.
Oh yeah, that's basically how he's wanting to win this, is keep Bunny Champ at a distance so that he has the space that he wants and needs to dodge out of the Whammer's way.
Yeah,
and be able to
I
get
like
those
to do that
roasters
too in Mausoleum.
snipe.
Yeah, I like to do that in Mausoleum too. I like to get the trampoline and then just trying to snipe from the other side.
It also benefits Min Min a lot, for example, because that means it's so much more difficult for your opponent to approach without making a huge risky play, which means you're probably going to have a lot more safer opportunities to get Dragon Arm. Or if they do go for that risky play, it's a lot easier for you to punish it.
Yeah, especially because they need to go through the trampoline for that most of the time. So it's an easy like win setup into rush or a easy to hit punish and things like that.
Piper tried to go in for a really good rush play. Bunny Champ was actually paying
Oh, nice.
very
And the
close
trampoline
attention.
is out.
Safely held out that whammer
Yeah,
just until and was able to capitalize on that. But yeah, now we've got that center platform open.
yeah, this is gonna benefit Piper a lot. Bunny Champ could actually try to approach since Mechanica has the armor, but against double roster, I don't think it's a good idea.
Piper looking for a chance to throw out that rush. I feel like the smart thing he can do here, if he can bait out Bunny Champ's rush and then dodge it, and not the way that he's been dodging it so far, because that doesn't work. Oh, that's gonna be it though.
Gonna be it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, he needed to bait the rush and then force it the whiff.
I think the answer that I think that would have worked there is since Bunny Champ was suspended in the air, what Piper would want to do is rush to deflect the grab. Bunny Champ would be forced to utilize their rush.
Yeah.
Bunny Champ would probably also dash, which means that Piper would want to quickly dash out of the way of that.
Yeah, I see what, yeah.
Then just go in for a punish, because Bunny Champ would not be able to bring the whammer out in time anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
If Piper did that, that round would have been theirs. But that's another on one of those, like, you have to be so aware of what's happening. Like,
yeah.
I'm not even sure I would have been able to realize that. Maybe you breaking rush. Oh wait, no, the other option. Actually, the easier option. The easiest option that Piper probably would have had is rush. Throw out the shield, because you know Bunny's gonna throw out their rush. Your shield's gonna teleport you. Chances are you'll be in a position where you would have had enough space to be able to dash out of the way from there, and then you punish them.
Yeah.
And then Piper wins. But no, he doesn't win. Bunny wins. Bunny's better. Bunny's the champ. Except not really, because we still got Adam here. Alright, let me get that set up. And now we are stepping into a bit of a reverse of last time, where Adam was actually the player having to cause a reset to get the win, where now Bunny Champ is the player needing that reset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm assuming we're gonna get
That was not a minute, Piper. That was like 3 or 4.
I'm guessing we're gonna see maybe Mechanica versus Twintel for this.
I'm not expecting to see Bunny Champ's Mechanica. It usually doesn't work out. The only cases it works out at most is when Adam is experimenting a little too much. But then if Adam wants to win, they just throw on double roasters and that Mechanica just no longer works. And even then, it's still a very tough matchup for Bunny Champ. And you saw that in the last one, where Bunny Champ did win, but you also saw Bunny Champ immediately change out of that character, be like, I won! Alright! Mechanica's not gonna work next time because I know there's a lot of things that Adam's looking to try to make work. So I'm gonna just go over to a new character. And we're probably gonna see a lot of those other characters here.
Yeah. Yeah, against Adam, I don't know what I would use. I mean, my two main load side, for example, the Popper Ice Dragon Ram, and the other is the Scully Buff Chilla, and I don't think any of those could effectively work against Adam.
I have a couple of tricks that I generally have had some good success with. It's actually pretty similar to Bunny Champ, where I utilize the Tri-Blast and the Whammer, but the big difference to the way that I approach it, and maybe we'll see Bunny Champ try to go in with that, is you'll notice Bunny Champ throws out the Whammer just as a neutral, like, exchange option. But the way I kind of hold out the Whammer is I will personally choose to wait until I know my opponent is attacking. or that this is a moment where they want to attack. Like, especially since where Bunny Champ has the nade, and I've made the nade work in these exchanges, but I find better results with the Tri-Blast. Tri-Blast does better because it's so much better at just poking and prodding, which means that I can kind of play that neutral game until I start to get just with the Tri-Blast, until I start getting a feel out for when they're going for attacks, and then I just whammer through those. And then the Tri-Blast is able to punish from there.
Oh, nice punish by Adam right there.
Where the nade is still incredibly safe and very rewarding, but it's still not safe enough, and also doesn't have as much coverage. Like, you'll see, like that miss right there, I would have hit with the Tri-Blast there.
Yeah, the Tri-Blast would have hit there.
And there's a lot of those exchanges where it's like the nade will clash with the roasters, but you're also not aiming to use the nade to clash with the roasters, or the Tri-Blast in this case. You're using it to snipe your opponents, or just like poke them.
Yeah, I can see Tri-Blast as a veteran. And we got the Kablamer now, which is a good coverage option in my opinion for this matchup.
I feel like it's going to play out pretty similarly to the Whammer. Especially since, like, the reason why I say Tri-Blast over nade too is how you're seeing a lot of these exchanges go. It might as well be a Tri-Blast even with that nade, as Adam will just double punch, and that would have, in a lot of those cases, it just connects. Like, just that. Another one where Adam just chooses, rather than going for a single punch, now Adam just goes for double punches, and it's generally going to work out for them.
I was expecting a rush there by Adam.
Patiently playing things out, trying to... I wonder if they're trying to force Bunny Champ to throw out their rush here, just so that... Or position things so that they can get a KO with the rush. As we're going to get right here... Nope!
Oh!
I think if they jumped a second time, they might have been able to get out of that. But Bunny Champ's rush, that whammer, nicely aimed, going to allow for a solid lineup, and gets the KO.
Yeah. So and now for third round, and no rush for any player.
Nobody gets rush. It's illegal. I actually don't like the sound of that. Like that, like the neutral exchange, this back and forth is really exciting and interesting. But without rush, you lose so much of what makes this game interesting. Like, you miss this opportunity where Bunny Champ can do this pressure play now because they have the rush and they don't have to. They have like a backup option so that they can follow up and get this confirmed, and a really nice kill.
Oh, nice KO. I remember somebody, I think it was in Arm Central, compared the rushes to the custom combos you can do in the Street Fighter Alpha series, and it's actually right when you think about it, because it's not basically just one big attack that does a lot of damage. It's a new way of using the attacks as a new combo.
Yeah. It's more incorporated to be a combo, but it is basically just a different way to do the same attacks that you've done. Popper becomes a little bit bigger, it does multi-hit, and it comes out a bit faster. That's how a lot of mono attacks come out. Flurry means that you just have a very safe and easy way to throw out your attacks that can get you a little too tunneled if you're not careful.
Yeah. Yeah, I also seen some players say that maybe instead of rushes for a ARP sequel, they should have like a unique super attack for each player. I can see why they want that, but at the same time, I think that will take away some of the charm of this game.
It would take away some of the charm, and it also creates a new layer of unbalance. And one of the big things that I like about ARMS is the fact that the definition between the defense and the offense are two very different things. Like, your defense and movement is 100% your character. Like, there are arguably certain aggressive things that come from certain characters. Dr. Quill with the third arm, Master Mummy and Mechanica with the armor and being able to press through that. But generally, like, the character is movement and defensive tools. And then you get to put on aggressive tools beyond that. To have all characters now have a base rule of what their aggressive attack is, and then not be able to adjust from that, I feel like this game would lose a lot of it, like you just said, charm and what makes it interesting. Because now everybody has just flat rule of what they are, and you can't have Quintel with double roasted.
It will lose its uniqueness and become just another fighting game, in my opinion.
Ooh, a nice grab for Bunny Champ.
That was a nice dodge into the grab.
No, because of that name, they're just looking for one more hit. Being a little more patient with that Kablammer, definitely respecting the fact that if they threw it out too much, it was going to lead to the KO. And you could tell Adam was waiting for the Kablammer. You saw the only time the punch was during that Kablammer. So Bunny Champ was just like, as long as I'm keeping the Nate charge and just throwing it out, it's probably going to hit. And if it hits, I win.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of things people want to see in an ARM sequel, a lot of people want to see Mechanica getting actual arms. And that's another thing that I personally like against it, because Mechanica's whole thing is that she doesn't have arms.
Yeah, it's a cool thing narratively, but in terms of gameplay, a lot of people would be like, wow, cool, she got the arms gene, so exciting, interesting. And then a lot of people would probably end up just getting bored with the character unless there was something really interesting and unique to her that was also added to play on upon that.
Yeah. Now, for me, I would love in a sequel to have you can say it many things in the future, and Mechanica is like the headmistress of a school that teaches second-generation fighters how to fight without having the arms gene.
That's gonna be a break, and it's not the KO. Yes. But Bunny Champ's gonna not get it.
Oh, he missed the punish.
Adam forced to throw out their rush. That shield is still fairly weak, though. If Bunny Champ just gets a couple of explosions, can definitely take this.
Yeah.
There it is, though.
Bunny was really lucky with the distance there, because Adam was not able to punish.
That was actually kind of set up. So what happened there was, Bunny Champ got the disarm, ended up trying to go for the punish, but because they were also backing up, because they were confident, like, if I hit here, I win. If I don't hit here, there's probably going to be a rush. So Bunny Champ was backing up. Adam throws out the rush, jumps in the air to try to get it to connect, but Bunny's already a safe distance away and just has more than enough room to safely shield things out. And because of that, didn't get knocked into critical, and Adam was not in a position to be able to take things back.
Yeah, that's something I noticed Bunny doing a lot, punching and then going back.
Well, that's one of the interesting things about Mechanica's movement and momentum. Because of the way she plays, you can dash to the left or right, and then you can also adjust that to be a slight adjustment forwards or back. Or if you're dashing forwards, you can kind of adjust it to the left or right, so on and so forth. So you can keep that solid momentum and then just drift yourself back if you need. And that allows for some real... Mechanica's and Dr. Coil's a lot, too. To have very safe and rewarding baits.
Yeah.
You'll see it a lot more from those kinds of characters than you do from others, just because of how easy it is for them to do it. Where a lot of... Lillipop would be like one of the few other exceptions to the rule, because when she does it, she gets to do some really good setups, and then kind of like super dash backwards and throw out a grab.
And first time seeing the Scrapstar in today's tournament.
Indeed. And it's an interesting stage. A lot of people tend to avoid it just because it is a very solid defensive stage, but it's also a very noisy and cluttered defensive stage. You see here, it's got those 2 and 5 health pillars. There is an extremely little bit of amount of space between them and the rest of the stage. There's all this elevation shift. There's that huge bumper at the top. There is so much going on to this stage. I'd honestly call this the second loudest stage in this game.
Yeah.
And not just because of the music.
No. If we were talking about the music, I actually really like the Scrapyard theme, because it reminds me of the soundtrack for Capcom versus SNK2. It sounds so similar to that soundtrack.
It's also just generally a good song.
Yeah. I think the reason I like it a lot is because it's one of the few themes in this game that doesn't incorporate the main theme, which is something Nintendo does a lot in this game.
It actually does. Just thinking about it, it's very subtle. But
Yeah.
the way it kind of goes, the da 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 da, is kind of going along the tempo of the oh. It is
Yeah,
actually playing
but
along it. It's just very different and personal to Mechanica.
Yeah, but as you said, it's very subtle. While other some of the other teams, you can clearly hear the main theme in there.
Actually, Ribbon Rain's really good for that too, where it's like, there is still very much it, but the beat and the rhythm to it is so much more different as well, where she kind of plays around with that main theme.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing out a nice 320 rush, gonna start off with advantage. But now Bunny Champ has a rush ready of their own, quickly gonna try to close that distance and utilize that rush pressure.
And now the match has been going way more aggressive since the pillars are out.
And that's not going to be a shield break this time. Bunny Champ
That was actually a really
close
good
into that ledge.
That was a really good position for Aaron because I've seen many rushes fail in that ledge.
Yeah. When you're in that kind of position, even if Bunny Champ was able to land that rush, eventually they just fall too low, and especially if the climber wasn't out yet, literally just would not connect. It's probably one of the more frustrating places to be when you're trying to rush your opponent.
Yeah, I can back that up.
Same.
Many times I'm having like, yeah, it's rush time. I got my win config, rush, and my rush either hits the wall and does nothing, or it actually curves and goes to the sky.
Yeah, the best are like popper rushes where it's just like, it goes in some nonchalant direction. You're like, I'm sorry, what are you doing, popper? Yeah. And then they punish you and you're like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, no, but the best thing is when you miss with a whammer and the whammer goes for a walk and it doesn't return like for a full minute.
Oh, that also happens with the parabola. Even if the parabola connects, sometimes it'll just keep zooming
parabola
outwards.
Especially. It's like, and where are you going? Parabola, where are you going? Come back. Come back.
Para, please come home. I wish to continue doing the fighting. I require you. Please stop leaving. It's
actually one of the reasons I dropped the whammer from my Loro, because I was like, one punch and then whammer, but the first punch knocked my opponent down, and I'm like, please come back, whammer, please come back. I need to charge. I need dragon arm. Yeah.
I unfortunately, like, parabola is one of my arms in speedrunning, which is unfortunate because sometimes it doesn't work well for speedrunning.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're speedrunning. It would be a shame if I decide to go for a walk.
I'm just gonna keep... Actually, I have the whammer for that too, so it's just like... Like, sometimes you'll just whip and it's like, well, there goes 5 seconds.
Wow, in that sentence, Bunny Champ got the first round immediately. That was fast.
That was a very oppressive round. Did not work well at all for Adam Brain. Bunny Champ definitely has been adapting, as we've seen during these rounds. Actually, as you've been seeing, like, stuff that I've talked about that would help out more. Being more patient with the whammer.
Yeah.
Not going in for those base grabs in the air either. Bunny Champ, a lot of times where Adam Brain's just used and expecting to, like, dash, jump into the air, throw out a grab, and dash, and then rush. Bunny Champ's just holding the rush in those exchanges.
Oh! That was a good exchange. Did you see that?
Yeah! Adam forgot to throw out their left arm. And because of that, Bunny Champ ended up being able to win the exchange.
Wow! Wow, we got, with those grabs, Twitter kept Mechanica in the hot pocket, and Mechanica is not leaving the hot pocket anytime soon.
Kanemaka might not need to leave the hot pocket if she's able to get. No, she's not getting.
Oh no.
I mean, hey, look on the bright side. She's out of the hot pocket.
Yeah.
She got out of the hot pocket. She cost her her life, but she got out.
Hmm.
If it was worth it or not, I don't know. It depends on personal opinion.
Yeah.
That's subjective. I personally think it was very worth it for her, because now look, she's out of the hot pocket. She's good fun. That's a good rush. That is going to be a deal breaker.
Yeah, it's going to be a break.
Basically gets
and a
the
nice
whole
315.
mounts.
Yeah.
That's something a lot of players don't do too, is they're so determined to get the full rush, they don't recognize, oh hey, this is a good point where I'll pretty much just get most of that damage. I might as well just go here.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players like they rush, but if the opponent block, they do nothing. They literally stop attacking and just wait the rush. It's still a bit of chip damage you can get.
Oh, that's gonna be the bracket reset. Bunny Champ landing the killing blow there.
Really good that from Bunny Champ. That was the perfect punish. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people just do nothing with the rushes if the opponent blocks.
Well, it depends on the state of the shield. If the shield's already weakened, then yes, it's a huge mistake just to not go for it, break the shield, and get some more damage. There is the argument where you sometimes don't want to do that. Let's say you're low on health, your opponent's low on health, you activate rush, and they bring out their shield. They're not at rush yet, but there's like 10 seconds left on the clock. They're pretty close to rush if they throw out 1 or 2 punches. Or no, maybe like 4 punches. So they're really close to rush. You've activated rush. Their shield is full. They have enough health where you can chip them down to the magic pixel and they'll be there. But that's about it. So your options are to throw out the rush and you flurry them down, get them to the magic pixel, or you wait things out. You have the health lead. So you don't even need to get that chip damage. The 2 cases that can happen. So you throw out the rush and you just stare at them. They're not going to punch because they know that if they try to punch, then you're going to finish your rush and that will lead to them being KO'd. So they sit there and wait. 5 seconds pass. And now they've got 5 seconds to throw out 4 punches and activate rush and get that to land. To do chip damage to be able to win.
Yeah, I can see that.
The alternative is you throw out the rush and you go gun-ho and you just punch them down, bring them down to the magic pixel. But in the act of doing so, they now have rush because you gave them so much chip damage. You don't break the shield. You're not even close to it. You've just hit them enough times. They now have rush. They throw their rush in response, and let's say their rush is a shield breaker. Or let's say that your rush takes a little too long to retract.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
they've thrown their perfect shield rush, and you've now lost.
Yeah, I can see that. It's probably because I don't like using my rush and just do nothing. It's basically the fact that when I play against other people online, in any game, I don't like doing nothing. I feel like I need to do something. You know, I almost feel like sometimes I feel like I'm trolling my opponent by doing nothing for an extended period of time.
Yeah, well, that goes into the argument we had before, where it's like,
yeah,
a
it's about
good player
knowing when.
Is good at knowing what buttons to press. A great player knows when to press those buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, you could say that's my main problem. I'm very impatient sometimes.
I'm incredibly impatient, but I've also learned in certain exchanges, I can quickly calculate, is it worth it to throw out the rush here? Is it not worth it? So on and so forth. But yeah, it's important to be able to recognize those situations when it's safe to kind of go for those kind of punishes, and where it's a terrible decision and is going to work out abysmally for you.
And right now we can see that both players are just thinking about throwing the punches and trying to quickly get the damage done.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of read attempts going in here. Bunny Champ constantly trying to decide when it's safe to throw out the whammer, when it isn't, when it's safe to do this or that, and trying to just get these good positions. And then Adam also constantly just like dancing and dodging between these things, changing their mind on a pin, on a dime, and just being like, all right, now we're doing this, now we're doing this, now we're doing this. Like, there was a lot of mental interaction that was going on just in that one round alone.
And really smart for him of not using Rush in that second round. Now he's in a better position now.
Yeah, and you can see Bunny Champ is extremely paranoid about utilizing that whammer, because the nade is mostly safe. There's a couple of cases where it's not safe, just as you saw that punish. But if Bunny Champ threw out the whammer in pretty much any of those cases, Adam Brain would have punished and easily capitalized. A lot of what we're seeing here is these, like, compared to like a month ago or so, we're seeing these players really start to understand the really more nuanced movement and interactions between each other as we're progressing more and more into these tournament or these bracket matches. Like, the players that we see here are very different from the players that we saw even last week. The amount of adaptation that they are applying here compared to then is monumental. Bunny Champ is adapting. Bunny Champ before, Mechanica wasn't working out. I have to change characters.
And now now Bunny Champ is actually making Mechanica work.
Yeah, Bunny Champ's making Mechanica work, where literally was getting almost perfected every single time previously, and now Bunny Champ is getting neck to neck and just realizing, wait, if I just hold the whammer, Adam's literally just waiting for the whammer. If I just hold the whammer, I can get more damage in because I'll just have more opportunities to poke. And then Adam's like, wait, I can't just wait for the whammer anymore. Now I have to try to go in for these other times, these other moments. And it's causing a lot more interaction where Bunny Champ's able to go, whammer's safe here now. And then Adam's like, no, it's not actually safe here. And then Bunny's like, okay, it's not safe here. So I'm gonna use it here. And Adam's like, oh, I wasn't expecting it there. And Bunny Champ's like, yes, now I'll use it again here. And then I was like, no, now I'm expecting it here. And it's constantly that back and forth. That's what we're seeing here. These players are really starting to adapt. That's how we got the bracket reset. Is because Bunny Champ has put so much more effort into adapting and changing. Now that Adam Brain has basically forced them to have to start doing so. Bunny Champ was so comfortable and so confident before in being able just to play that aggro in-your-face style, up until Adam made it blatantly clear when and where that doesn't work. Like, the reason why it took Bunny Champ so long to be able to make those adaptations do, or at least to the degree that we're able to see it, is because you don't really see too many opportunities where answers are, or you see clear points of, oh, I'm making very clear mistakes here. Like, more often than not, like, me and Bunny Champ go into a match, and I end up winning just because I know Bunny Champ's being way too aggressive. Because I don't have Actress Aura, it's not even close to as clear that Bunny Champ's making those mistakes in those ways. They could be thinking, oh, it's the arms, it could be this, it could be that. But when you're playing against Twintel, like, Twintel is so good at telling you when you've made a mistake because of her Actress Aura. Like, she has a beautiful tell for you.
Yeah, I actually wrote that in the script of my video. Twintel is the prime outboxer of ARMS because she doesn't need to wait for a mistake. She can create a mistake.
She well, I wouldn't say she creates it. She exemplifies the mistakes, where other characters will... The mistakes are there in every other character, but you have to have such better reaction to be able to punish those mistakes with other characters. Where with Twintel, it slows it down, so you literally get a slowdown of your mistake every single time. You know that meme of it's at that moment they realize they effed up. That is every single time Twintel punishes you with Actress Aura. You see it happening before you, and you're forced to acknowledge it.
Exactly. I'm gonna need to modify the script then. It's actually what I love being able to finally commentate, because we can discuss this type of thing and it's really helping me. But
see,
yeah,
the reason why the nade was not safe there, where nade's pretty much safe in every other case, except that one case. That was an uncharged nade. Uncharged nades are super unsafe and just not good.
Oh,
That's
nice
gonna be a
response
good
by Bunny
KO,
Champ.
though.
Yeah. That was I'm pretty sure Bunny Champ knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah. Was pretty confident in that interaction. Was just like, I can just force Adam's hand here. They played through that enough times, and at that point, Adam was getting used to the idea, oh, you're gonna grab, or I'm gonna grab, and then I'm not gonna do anything, and I'm gonna use rush later. So Adam was just like, oh, I should rush here now. And Bunny Champ's like, haha, you see, I've also been, while you have been recognizing my mistakes and have been adapting, I too have noticed mine and your mistakes, and have thus adapted myself. Now feel the wrath of this rush! And Adam dies.
You kind of turned into Dr. Doofenshmirtz there.
Well, that's, yeah, that was... I mean, I don't know the character, but I kind of know the way, that kind of stuff. I love that voice and everything, so I will play with that a little bit. It's fun, but yeah.
Ah, Perry the Platypus. Now, let me show you the Adaptinator.
That's basically what this match is. It's just what's his name? Doofenshmirtz?
Doofenshmirtz.
Doofenshmirtz? It's basically two Doofenshmirtz just being like, ah, I see you have done this. Well, I have this. Oh, I see you have done this. Well, unfortunately for you, I have this.
They both have the trap set up for the other. Yeah. Basically.
Basically, what's happened is the two are starting to get really comfortable with each other, and now we're starting to see those really interesting intricacies between these two players. You're getting to see a lot of those more really exciting interactions where it's just like adaptation on top of adaptation on top of adaptation, and it's just continuing to pile on and on and on.
Yeah, they're so comfortable fighting each other now that they're not only with the attention, they're not overthinking this match.
Yeah.
Basically.
They're also very equally at level, so while the reason, like, you grow better when you lose, but the closer your opponent is to your level and you lose, the more you learn.
Yeah.
So, like, these two are very on par with each other, and they're constantly catching each other off guard, which means they're both adjusting, they're both adapting, which also means that they're being rewarded for their lessons that they're learning. And it just means, like this is basically on par with, like, you know when you're kind of, like, playing against another player online and just, like, basically giving them free experience points to grind up or whatever? Or, you know, like, people who purposely set up Blissey so that you just get a buttload of XP off of them? That's basically what's going on here, is they're both basically just giving themselves free XP. This isn't like ranked where you're seeing, like, the two go even high on rank and both other bars go back down to the bottom of 20. This is literally like the way ranked would realistically work in terms of experience, where it's just like, you gained 1,000 experience points. You've also gained 1,000 experience points. Oh look, you both gained 1,000 experience points again. Oh look, you got 2,000 this time. And they're just keep piling up that experience. They're just learning at a really exponential rate and just quickly picking up a lot more of the tools and techniques that they didn't have, like, even at the start of this event. Like, they're probably not going to be fully cognizant of a lot of the things they picked up, but they're so much more aware of so many more of the interactions. Like, just looking at them right now, I'm confident that I would have a much more difficult time in a matchup with either of these two now, or at the end of this tournament, than I would have, like, at the start. Like, they have grown so much. Yeah, definitely. Like, look at that interaction there.
Yeah. And as I said, because they're sort of comfortable fighting each other, they can allow themselves to not think too much of it and actually, like, enjoy the fight at the same time as they're playing.
And that's a big thing too. You gotta enjoy what you're doing. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're not gonna learn much.
Yeah. And if you're not enjoying it, also, as you say, you're not learning a lot, and you're blocking yourself from a lot of things.
Like, a good mental health is very important for learning. It's for developing our insight. You want to get fit? Make sure well, it's a good way to get good mental health is to get a good body, but you're gonna get a better body faster if you have good mental health. So it's kind of like a cycle where it's one of those cycles where it can be spiraling downwards, where it's like your body degrades because your mental health is worse, and then your mental health gets worse because your body is worse, and it goes that way. But it also spirals upwards, where if you're working out, you start feeling better, and then you work out more, which makes you feel better, which means that you become addicted, and that's actually a problem some people have.
Yeah. And that can be applied not only to working out, but doing anything. For example, I was really afraid of commentating, and the only thing that I was doing is making me feel bad, like, oh, maybe my voice is bad for commentating and things like that, and it just pulled me down even more and more, and then I finally decided to do it, and here I am.
And now you're just like commentating. I'm like, hey, do you want to commentate? You're like, sure.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about a 320 rush, and Bunny Champ being at a mild health lead, just looking for a little bit more damage to take Adam down. But Adam gonna quickly turn things around and is now just looking for a little bit more damage on their own.
The double roster is really helping.
A nice whammer though.
That was nice.
See,
I'm pretty confident in saying that roster is probably the most used arm in the war.
It's probably, it's the most popular arm. I'd probably put Nade second.
Yeah. Yeah, Nade and Roaster and Nade.
Oh, a nice catch.
Nice. That was a nice catch. I just realized both players have rush, so it's time to see who gets the best setup first.
Adam definitely going to be pretty cautious of things, looking for the right opening to be able to throw their rush out. Because Bunny Champs demonstrate quite a few times, if Adam just kind of throws out that rush willy-nilly, even as a punish in a lot of cases, it just means Bunny gets the better punish. And that is a glorious play. Again, demonstrating that adaptation. Adam recognizing that they have pretty weakened arms right there. And generally, when they've waited it out and tried to punish later, they end up getting disarmed and taking even more damage.
Yeah.
Where this time they're like, I'll just throw out the rush here, gives my arms times to heal, and allows me to get some damage, as Bunny Champ was determined to get some more pressure of their own.
Yeah, and in that moment when you see the caution sign on both of the opponent's arm, you want to get the disarm right there. So it was a perfect opportunity to just throw the rush.
Bunny Champ gonna be able to survive with the magic pixel, and thanks to that, we'll be bringing the score to 2-2. Both players now looking for one more win to be able to take the bracket.
But yeah, a few weeks ago, that mechanic probably wouldn't work against the Twin Tail. And also, speaking about what do you think is the least used arm in this game?
Let me see. Probably Guardian.
Guardian?
Guardian or Scully.
I was gonna say Scorpio.
No, sorry, Scorpio I meant.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see a lot of people running Scorpio because the commitment on that arm is just insane. Even more than the Guardian.
Yeah. Then again, I do... then again, I did just see a tournament where Iceman won while having the Scorpid as one of their arms that took a lot of sets. I'd probably say the Guardian, because, like, beyond... Let's see. People that I know that use the Guardian, Adam Brain, Junior.
Yeah.
Anybody else who uses a shield uses the clapback.
Yeah, and I was thinking because when you compare both, clapback is overall a bit more rewarding, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. But yeah, you could make the argument that like Cracker could be potentially seen less because just on my base arguments that it's literally a worse popper and people might see that. But that's also not necessarily the case. Like, it is a little bit more steady and consistent, and a lot of people will lean towards it just because it's a little bit more safer feeling, or they just want that fire element on the cracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say Guardian is the least popular arm in this game by probably a noticeable amount.
Yeah, probably.
Like, beyond those two, the only people who utilize the Guardian are, like, default Helix mains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in the case of Scorpio doesn't have something similar to as a rival.
Yeah.
I mean, while Guardian has the clapback, and clapback does such a better job, so...
It's also noticeably better in most cases, where it's like, you can kind of look at the cracker and the popper, and you can be like, well... everybody says that the popper is better, but you can also look at the two and be like, but I feel like I like the cracker more because it just feels like it's a bit better. Because a lot of the details that make the popper better are a little more nuanced, where the clapback and the Guardian literally just... Guardian's the most popular because of the memes. It's popular because of memes, but beyond memes, nobody touches the thing.
Yeah.
Except for, like, Adam.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've seen related to Guardian was that I don't remember if it was a player or a spectator in Japan that was using a Guardian mask.
Yes. It might be more popular in Japan, but yeah, in North America and EU, it's especially rare.
Yeah.
Speaking of rare, well, maybe not too rare, but Adam Brain right now holding on to a monumental lead.
Oh, nice.
Just looking for 2 to 3 more hits to get the KO.
Mm-hmm.
The stage working out fantastically for them. And one hit is all that's left.
Pixel.
And it's going to be a grab, sealing the deal. Adam taking the 39th Scrapstar Series and 8 brackets. And we'll be closing things off on that note. Congratulations to Adam Brain taking first place. Funny Champ with a fantastic second place. These two players doing a fantastic job of adapting and growing between each other. Seriously, like...
This was an amazing set.
This tournament was very much like... These two were the spotlight. Like, watching them kind of adapt and grow and adjust between each other, there is a lot that was going on. Like, more than we could probably even commentate on. If you want to see, like, some really exciting and interesting ARMS interactions, if you're looking for a video that probably demonstrates what's so exciting and cool about ARMS, this Grand Finals is probably a good example beyond us being completely off topic here and there. Like, I'd probably utilize, like, the Grand Finals match, even with the off-topic conversations, they still added to things. But, like, overall, that stuff was...
The only reason to give the Grand Final a thumbs down is because we are pretty stupid just talking about stupid things sometimes.
But yeah, like, if you're looking for something to kind of showcase that, the VOD will be there. You can always make a point to that, a reference to that. You can make a timestamp or whatever.
I'm always sharing the VODs I'm commentating in the Chilean group, actually.
Yeah. The VOD's going to be, of course, on YouTube. It's going to be set to unlisted, because that's how it tends to be. You just go look through the playlist for Scrapstar Series. It'll show up there. Oh yeah, and of course, congratulations to Mr. Pied Piper for 3rd place, Eternal for 4th.
Yeah, congratulations to everybody. These matches were a lot of fun to watch.